Good evening. Coming up tonight.
After a semester at USC, Michael Amiridis has officially been invested as the university president.
Plus, we have an update on the Murdaugh murders as they move to trial.
And later, see how the women's basketball team dominated Arkansas this past Sunday.
But first, Nicole Smith is in the studio here with us now. Nicole, what weather can we expect to see this weekend?
We'll have some showering weather coming up this week. I'll have the forecast for this week and more for you tonight on SGTV Student News at 7.
Live from the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio.
This is Student News at 7.
Good evening, Carolina. I'm Tyler Perrone.
And I'm Caroline Smith. Thanks for joining us tonight.
This past Friday, January 20th, the University of South Carolina hosted the investiture of President Michael Amiridis at the Koger Center for the Arts.
Having previously served as faculty in administration at USC for 20 years, Amiridis' investment marks a new period of stability following the unexpected resignation of former President Robert Caslen in May of 2021. The event formally instated Amiridis as the university's 30th president, despite his service at USC president beginning in July 2022.
Amiridis was also joined by Robert J. Jones, Chancellor of the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. The two agreed on the importance of the accessibility of higher education, with President Amiridis stating, quote, "The need for a well-educated and diverse workforce is now greater than it has ever been in our history," end quote.
So far, Amiridis' tenure has already led to a greater connection between the USC students, community, and administration.
One of the most successful events in doing so was Imagine Carolina, a day-long affair endorsed by Amiridis where both students and faculty voiced their opinions on university affairs directly to USC administrators.
The trial of Alec Murdaugh began today at the Colleton County Courthouse in Walterboro, South Carolina. Jury selection began this morning and could take up to the rest of the week. Alex Murdaugh is being charged with 2 counts of murder for the death of his wife and his son.
These charges are only 2 of the 100 criminal counts Murdaugh faces. Murdaugh has pled not guilty to the murder charges. The bodies were found in June 2021 on the Murdaugh's family property.
Murdaugh told investigators he discovered the bodies after returning from a visit to his sick father. This particular murder trial is leading to further investigations into suspicious activities of the Murdaugh family. Some of these other cases that are being brought to light include a murder-suicide plot by Murdaugh, the 2018 death of a housekeeper on Murdaugh property, and a 2015 hit-and-run case.
Also held under suspicion is the case of a 2019 boat crash, which resulted in the death of a 19-year-old woman who was a friend of Paul Murdaugh. Paul Murdaugh was the driver of the boat. He is the son who was murdered in the case that Alec is now being tried for.
State agents investigated for over a year before charging Murdaugh with 2 counts of murder. The trial itself is expected to last up to 3 weeks.
On Friday, January 20th, USC students organized a march and protest to bring attention to racial inequalities that still exist on our campus. SGTV reporter Zane Heinlein has the story.
On Friday, students protested against the ongoing racist culture on campus. This was one of the countless efforts that students of color have made to hold the university administration accountable.
We want more representation, and we are going to demand more representation, and we're going to demand respect.
Senior Courtney McLean says that the university should speak directly to Black students that are involved in campus leadership positions.
But we need to speak to real students who do not have leadership, who are looked over often, and that's who I think that we need to start talking to, because that's who was on stage today.
If racist issues persist on campus, McLean says that they will only keep expanding to have their voices heard.
We don't want them to be ignored anymore, and we want the administration to stop releasing statements saying, oh, we don't support racism, we don't allow that on our campus, because it's still happening on campus.
For SGTV News 4, I'm Zane Heinlein.
Thanks, Zane. Senior Courtney McLean expressed the wish to remove the names of historically racist figures from buildings on campus. She also mentioned the wish to add zero-tolerance policies for hate crimes in the university's code of conduct. The students in the protest claim that they will continue to protest until changes are seen on campus.
Yesterday, Hawaii unveiled the casket of the last Hawaiian princess for public display in downtown Honolulu. Members of Ale Ona Ali'i, Hawaii's Royal Society, revealed Princess Abigail Kinauiki Kekalike Kawananakoa's grand coffin, a handcrafted vessel created from the carcass of a 165-year-old koa tree.
Abigail's now widowed wife, Veronica Gale Kawananakoa, stood beside the casket for the entirety of the presentation, still mourning the loss of her 96-year-old partner that occurred on December 11, 2022. Veronica remarked that, quote, "Abigail will be remembered for her love of Hawaii and its people, and I will miss her with all of my heart," end quote.
The ceremony took place at Iolani Palace in Honolulu, beginning with ceremonial wails and chants detailing the tradition and lineage of the Ale Ona Ali'i. Iolani Palace then opened its doors to the public, where citizens lined up to pay their respects to the late princess.
Though Kawananakoa's status was not formally recognized by the U.S. government, she was still considered a princess due to her deep-rooted lineage in native Hawaiian royalty. Sadly, Abigail's death also marks the end of the Kawananakoa bloodline, with her lack of an heir guaranteeing her as the last princess of Hawaii. That sounds like an absolutely beautiful ceremony, and what a wonderful way to commemorate an end of a very important bit of U.S. history.
Yes, it does. Just the imagery of life after death with the casket being made of the carcass of a koa tree is absolutely beautiful. And coming up after the break, the latest in Gamecock sports. Stay close.
SGTV News 4 sports reporter Spencer Ball has the scoop. What have you got for us, Spencer?
Star forward Aaliyah Boston adds yet another record to her stacked resume, breaking the school record for most double-doubles in a career with her 73rd. Boston scored 13 points and snagged 14 rebounds in the Gamecocks' 92-46 winning over Arkansas on Sunday. This performance broke the 41-year-old record held by Sheila Foster. Foster cheered for Boston along with over 13,000 fans that packed into Colonial Life Arena. Although it was a historic night for Boston, Zia Cook led the team in scoring with 24 points on the night. The Gamecocks are back in action in Tuscaloosa as they take on the Crimson Tide this Sunday at 1. And moving on to the men's side of basketball, the Gamecocks have now lost 3 straight games after falling to the Auburn Tigers this past Sunday at home by a score of 81-66. Auburn's Janai Broom had a season-high 27 points along with 11 rebounds to propel the Tigers over the Gamecocks. Despite the loss, star freshman Gigi Jackson had a career-high 30 points paired with 8 rebounds. Even though the team has not found much success, Jackson's draft stock has been steadily rising as he's proven to be one of the best freshmen in the country. The Gamecocks will travel to Gainesville to take on the Florida Gators Wednesday night at 7 p.m. on ESPN2. For News 4 Sports, I'm Spencer Ball.
Thanks, Spencer. Coming up after the break, News 4 entertainment reporter Rachel Carter will lay down the talk of the town. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Joining me now is entertainment reporter Rachel Carter to fill us in on what's happening in Columbia this weekend. What do you have for us, Rachel?
For our country music fans, Cody Johnson will be performing at Colonial Life Arena this Friday at 7 p.m. After canceling his shows due to the pandemic in 2019, they have since been rescheduled and are now making their way to Columbia. There are still seats left, and tickets can be purchased at Ticketmaster.com. So I don't know about you, but I personally will probably not be attending this concert. I'm just not a huge country fan.
I have lots of friends who are big country music friends, but I might pass this one too. I'm more of a pop kind of person.
Well, for our classical fans, the Palmetto Opera is presenting its production of Madama Butterfly at the Kroger Center for the Arts. The production will feature only one showing at 3 p.m. this Sunday. Tickets range from $45 to $55 and can be purchased through the Kroger Center box office.
That one seems more up my alley. I grew up doing ballet, so I love classical music.
I did ballet too as a child. That seems a lot more up our alley.
Well, that's all for your entertainment news tonight. Coming up after the break, Nicole Smith will let you know if this cold weather sticks around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Nicole Smith. Here's your look at tonight's forecast. Today's temperatures are at 54 degrees with the winds going 13 miles per hour and that cloud coverage looking at about 16%. Now for the weekly forecast. We have today's temperatures again at 54 degrees, but later in the week it's going to be between the high 50s to the low 50s, with that highest being here on Wednesday, 68 degrees. And at night it's going to get a bit chilly with 29 degrees, but throughout the week it's going to warm it up just a little bit, but not that much, with the low 30s to the high 40s. Here on Wednesday, it is going to thunder, so just keep an eye out for this. But for the rest of the week, it is going to get very sunny, so it's going to be mostly sunny from Thursday to Saturday. That's all for tonight. After the break, we'll have tonight's edition of Carolina Canines. You don't want to miss it. Stay with us.
And finally, tonight's Carolina Canine features Palio.
Palio is a 3-year-old pitty. He is a high-energy buddy that loves to run and play with his toys. Palio has also been learning at doggy school and has new commands in his books. He is fully updated on his vaccinations and is looking to be adopted. Reach out to Columbia Animal Services if you want to give Palio a forever home. See, I think it's so sweet that we have things like Columbia Animal Services that really broadcast and try and get it out there that there are animals that need help and new homes.
Absolutely, and pit bulls are underrepresented. They're adorable.
They are.
Come on, I hope Palio finds an awesome home super soon.
I'll take them.
And that wraps up tonight's edition of Student News at 7.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SGTV at USC.
To keep up with all of our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtvonline.com. For SGTV News 4, I'm Caroline Smith.
And I'm Tyler Perrone. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great night, Carolina, forever to be.